Listen, Apple came through for the pro users this year at Apple Event 2022, the first Apple event of the year, and man, let's just talk about it. What's up, people? Welcome to the channel where we talk about music production, music business, and music licensing. If you love any of the previously mentioned, be sure to subscribe so you can stay up to date on all my latest content and hit that bell icon so you know exactly when that new content drops. So listen, we had an Apple event today, March 8th, where Apple announced some new hardware. They announced some new iPad Airs, which were super dope. And they also announced the Mac Studio, that beautiful chunk of steel or aluminum or whatever they make that stuff out of. Let's talk about some the highlights, I guess, at this Apple event. I feel like as a pro user, I feel like I was heard a little bit, at least this year, with the hardware that they put out. Now, obviously when they dropped the M1 chips and everything, last year, that was super dope, especially for iPads and, the new MacBooks and things like that. But this year having, I was kind of expecting, some type of upgrade to the Mac Mini for more pro users. But they I don't know, they created like this beast of a Mac Mini and turned it into a Mac Studio with this new insane chip. So, one of the new chips they mentioned was the new M1 Ultra chip, which, man, just super duper insane. Like 18 streams of 8K video is like what that joint can hold, and it's still running like butter with those 18 streams. That's insane. So that was super dope. So when I seen that they announced that chip, I was like, okay, naturally some beast of hardware is gonna come after that. You don't just, create this massive chip and have nothing to put it in. So obviously they put it in the Mac Studio, which is super dope, so you can get the Mac Studio in a configuration with the M1 Ultra, or no, I'm sorry, the M1 Max or the M1 Ultra. Both super dope chips. I mean, honestly, this regular M1 chip is a great chip, but again, for pro users who are really pushing this thing to the max, you have these two options, which is super dope. Now, do I feel like, me personally, would I use an M1 Ultra? Probably not. First off, I'm not doing like intense 8K video editing. I'm not even doing a lot of video editing these days. Most of the stuff I'm doing is music production with, maybe some memory or CPU intensive plugins. But yeah, I mean, I think the Ultra would kind of be overkill for me and what I do on a day-to-day basis, but it's still a dope chip. Now, this is the thing that gets me with Apple. They get so stingy with the storage. Like, why are you so stingy with your storage, Apple? Like, I feel like a pro machine like the Mac Studio should start, just start at 1 terabyte, not this 512 gigabyte stuff. Get that out of here, man. It should at least, and I mean, we can eat up 1 terabyte rather quickly. That's still not a ton of storage, but at least start there with the Mac Studio, the Mac Pro. Like, why are we starting at 512 gigabytes in 2022, Apple? So that's one gripe I have, and this particular configuration is with the M1 Max, not the M1 Ultra. The M1 Ultra configuration starts at 1 terabyte of storage. But still, I feel like that should just be standard across the board for any pro machine. Throw in 1 terabyte of storage. Now, me personally, if I was to get something like the Mac Studio, whether it's the Max or the Ultra, I would probably just grab the 512 to save $2,000, because they're gonna charge you when you try and upgrade the storage. But I would just add, you know, a ton of external storage and just run, you know, just my basic softwares and OS and things like that on there. But I don't know. For a computer, I think 1 terabyte is probably gonna be best. I don't even know if I wanna risk it with 512. iPad, maybe I'll go with i12, but my iPad even has like 1 terabyte of storage at least. Like, I don't understand that. That doesn't make any sense. So let's talk about how much these joints cost. So if you get the one with the M1 Max chip, the cost starts at $1,999. Of course, if you're going in and adding some additional things, they're gonna tag on $200 there, $300 there, just depending on what you're adding as far as memory, storage, things like that. And then the base model of the Mac Studio with the M1 Ultra chip starts at a whopping $3,999. So there's like a whole $2,000 gap in between the M1 Max version of the Mac Studio and the M1 Ultra version of the Mac Studio. So I guess you're paying like an extra $2,000 for the chip and an extra 500 gigs of storage. I don't know. That's quite a jump. But again, seeing what that M1 Ultra, like if I needed it, then, you know, I would get it. I don't think I need it personally. I think it would definitely be overkill and I would never use it to its fullest potential. So yeah, so that's the Mac Studio. It's pretty attractive. You got the little SD card slot in the front, 2 USB-C, Thunderbolt 4, you know, connections in the front, super accessible. That's dope. I still think, depending on what you're doing, I feel like for what I do today, I still feel like the M1 Mac Mini is the best bang for my buck. But again, that's just me personally. They also announced the new iPad Airs now having the M1 chip, which is pretty dope. It's kind of like a miniature version of an iPad Pro. So that's pretty cool because you can use the, you know, the Folio keyboard, or you can use the Magic Keyboard, which is pretty cool, as well as the 2nd generation Apple Pencil. So I think it's pretty dope, especially to have those different options of colors and things like that. And for the price, you really can't beat it. My wife might mess around and grab one of those because they look kind of... And that was pretty much it. Like, those were the main highlights. They talked about the phone, but it's just like, I get a new iPhone like every 4 to 5 years. But those are kind of like the main things that stood out to me as a pro user, music creator, producer for sync, TV, film, all of that audio goodness. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. Great to see, you know, see them cater to the pro segment. Still no sign of Logic Pro or Final Cut Pro on iPad Pro, but you know, it's a lot to ask apparently. So what do you think about the release of this new chip and this new hardware from Apple? Drop your comment in the comment section below. And that's it. That's all I have for you. I just wanted to check in, talk about and geek out over some Apple stuff. I'll catch you guys on the next one. But before you go, please make sure you like, share, and subscribe and hit the bell icon. And now I will catch you on the next one. Peace.